Hello everybody and welcome back to the Retro Union Collectors channel today, and today we're doing the transformation guide on Shattered Glass, Slicer, and Exo-Suit. So these guys, this guy is a weaponizer, so he transforms by just breaking apart and then forming a different thing. So we will quickly look at his transformation after we look at Slicer. But first, let's take a look at Slicer. So to get Slicer into his vehicle mode, you can start by taking his accessories off. Just this or any of the guns or any of the parts that you have on him. And then I like to start by coming down here and straightening the foot out and just kind of pegging it all into place down here. And then you can take his arms here, kind of swing them. You want to rotate that bicep, swing them that way, and then take the wrists and swing them that way. Show you that from the front here. So you swing it that way, and you swing the wrist that way. And then you can kind of just hinge the arms up some. Then you can come back down to the legs here. That's just to kind of give you some clearance up here. So you want to, there's like a hinge in here that you can hinge out. And right about here, you can raise this little translucent red piece here, and be careful, this is fragile. I did break this on my Wheeljack. I had to super glue it back together. But from here, you just hinge this the rest of the way, and that will form in its little section right there quite nicely. So you just do that on this side as well. Just hinge it out, and there's the hinge on the inside there if you want to see. Flip this up, and keep hinging it back, and just be careful with these, they are fragile. Just kind of just give that a good squeeze in there. And then you can peg the feet together right up here. Just like that, make sure everything stays together. Then you can take this whole roof of the vehicle mode here, and you want to unpeg it there, and then unpeg it from the front and hinge the whole thing down. If you see, this is on a separate hinge here, so once this locks into place, it will move with the lower half of the body. So you just want to peg that down into place. These two translucent tabs here will go into those slots there. And it locks in fairly securely. Just be careful, it is translucent. And then you can take this whole section and spin it 180 degrees and fold his head in. And then up here, there are two tabs. Oh, you can spin these around too. There you go. But there are two tabs right here that will go into those two slots in there. And you kind of have to like hinge them into there. The second one usually is tighter. There we go. And then there is a big tab in there that will grab in that slot and just lock the whole thing together here. Just like that. There we go. So that is his vehicle mode there. Very nice. Definitely a super nice looking vehicle mode. But to get him back to his robot mode now, you can spin these all the way around. You can then unhook the hands on either side, and then pop his shoulders out carefully, just like that, and then just hinge them out. You kind of want to leave them up just for now. But here you can flip the head up and spin him 180 degrees at the waist. And then using your fingernail or something, kind of get up under this section and lift it up with that double hinge and peg it in up here. But you want this little gray tab to be under the red part right there. That'll kind of, supposed to hold the head in there, but it can just dip down. So this part, I don't like this part. This is how I broke it. But you split it in half, and then you kind of just have to wiggle it out really carefully. This part makes me nervous every time. I kind of just hold it up in here and just kind of wiggle it very carefully. Probably being too paranoid here, but that's alright. It's starting to come out. Any day now. Let's try this side. Oh, yep, see, that just came right out. So it just slides out, and then once you get to about the halfway point, you want to push this down and just be careful of it. And then there is, I'll show you this, that little hinge in there, there is a blue tab right up here, or right in there, I guess. It's like down in here, but it'll grab into that gray slot and lock the leg together. And then you can position the foot however you want. And now we can try this side again. There we go. Oof, I don't like that noise. But just fold that down, lock that together, fold the foot down. And that is it. You can go ahead and pose him however you want. Oh, wait, no. Wait, on the arms, you gotta rotate them forward, then rotate the wrists forward the other way. My bad. Rotate that forward, rotate the wrist. And then you can put his gun right up here. And that is it for Slicer. But now we can get to Exo-Suit, so get Slicer out here. So now to get Exo-Suit into his vehicle mode, I'm just going to show you the vehicle mode. These things are intended to be ripped apart and customized, so do whatever you want with this thing, but this is the official vehicle mode. We can remove all of his accessories, except I keep his little gun hands on for vehicle mode. But how I do this here is I rip this chunk off, then I rip this chunk off, and then you take his arms off and just set all these pieces aside and come to his lower body here, spin these up. You see those little red tabs? You'll use those here in a second, but those pink tabs will grab into that red slot there. You spin the leg all the way up, just fits right in there, clicks into place, and then that red slot right there will grab that notch, just like that. So just fold that up, click it into place, and grab right there. And then set this piece over here. You can take this piece and spin his head around 180. And then take the arms, and you have two holes here. I use the top hole for vehicle mode and the bottom hole for robot mode. So robot mode would be that bottom hole right there. Vehicle mode, you want to put it on the other side, on the top hole, and then point it backwards. Do that on both sides, like that. And then using these two holes here, take this piece and put those two pegs right there, in right there. That'll cover his face up. And that'll open these two slots and these two slots for these two pegs and those two pink pegs. So put the pink ones right there. And then squeeze it all together. And that is his little vehicle mode here. Pretty cool. Little two cannon type tank thing. But that's about it for that. We can now go to his robot mode again, and you just do the same. You just rip him apart, rip the arms off, rip this whole bottom section off, and then rip this back chunk off. And then we can start here with the torso. You can spin his head around. And then you take these, the arms, and use the bottom hole, like that, and that. And then we can set that aside. Take the legs and untie the toes and fold them up. Bring the whole legs down. And then you want to spin these back down. And then using that post right here, you want to put it into that pink hole down there. It'll also grab that little tab right there, I believe. So that slides in right there. And then utilizing that hole there and that post there, I'm going to put this right there. And that is it. This thing's, I mean, it's pretty fun to mess around with, but I'm not super into the weaponizers myself. I more so collect characters who I know. But if that guide helped you out at all, please let me know with a like, comment, and subscribe, all that fun stuff, and have a good night.